First of all, it's a long ways away. So we went to the missionary training center in Provo, which meant getting there, you're flying and whatnot for almost a solid day. It's 24 hours of travel. So when you get there, you're tired, you're kind of confused. I'm surprised we even made it at all. Like we're just like deer in the headlights. Everyone's like, well, what plane did we get on? Like, where are we? So you get there. Obviously the arrival was really pretty cool. I mean, in some countries, especially like Bulgaria, there's no jetway. There's no, the plane lands and you're flying this thing that looks like a 1960s bus with like shaggy carpet, like drapes and stuff on the plane. You're just like, where am I? And we get off the plane. It's raining and kind of like gray and dark, and you've got all the Cyrillic, Russian, Bulgarian writing everywhere, and it just hits you. You're like, I am on another planet. Like, this is really cool. And the mission president's there, and the elders, and everything's so new. You're like, I don't remember people's names. I don't know what's going on. They take you to the mission home, and like you have this awesome meal, and you're so you just don't know. Like, you're excited, but you're like not really sure what for. And so then you get a chance to sleep and try to figure things out, get your bearings. You meet your companion, and you're like, well, I hope he knows what he's doing. I hope he's cool, or she, if it's a sister. And one of the things we did, which is, I don't know if they do this at every mission, but we started doing is like the missionaries, you would arrive and you just drop your bags off and you just go proselyte with somebody before you even sit down, before you do anything. Like, it's actually kind of like crazy. You're like tired and you're like, what am I doing? Like, before you know it, you're like sitting in someone's home, like trying to teach them the gospel, and it's like this flashback to, the training experiences they have in the MTC, where you're like trying to like teach them, and you're like, I don't understand anything they're saying, like anything. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty fun. The first week's always fun. I mean, my first week was probably different than most people's. There was a bit of a transition going on, and it's something that taught me a huge lesson. I mean, when I arrived there, everybody would say, oh, this is a very difficult mission. No one baptizes, blah, blah, blah. The whole, like, get ready for difficult times. And what I realized, obviously you don't know much, but what I realized during that first probably 3 to 4 months is that success really comes to those who make it happen. And a lot of that is contingent on obedience and work. And so if you're not working, whether you're tired or you don't believe you'll succeed, so you're like, well, we're not going to succeed anyways, why bother working? Let's take it easy. Or, the obedience factor, it's part of how it is. Like, it's why the military is so strict. It's why great organizations that succeed have very detailed maps to success. When when you pull it up, like, if you're going to get from where you are to where you want to be, you're going to have to do the work in between those two. And so when I first arrived, I mean, man, it was pretty intense. I mean, some of the missionaries were getting attacked and all this stuff. And so initially I had thought that maybe that was just the country. It's like, oh, it's the culture. They're very, this, or they're very that. But what I realized is that it had very little to do with the country and a lot more to do with how intensely the missionaries worked. And I don't know, it was interesting because that first week, you get in there and it's just like, you expect the same thing. You expect to show up with a bunch of missionaries and everybody's going to be awesome and they're all going to be like gung-ho and excited. And then you get there and they're just people, doing their best. And so I don't know, that was pretty exciting,